Hours after Putin rejected peace talks, Ukraine struck back with surgical precision. 2 drones, 1 massive tanker, $500 million in weapons destroyed. This is how modern warfare just changed forever. The target, Sevastopol's Shadow Fleet. November 28th, 3:15 am. The tanker Chiros sits in Sevastopol naval port, 274 meters of floating arsenal. Part of Russia's Shadow Fleet, these aging oil carriers fly flags of convenience to dodge sanctions while funneling cash to the Kremlin. But Chiros isn't carrying oil tonight. Inside her steel hull, crates of Shahed 136 drone kits, guidance electronics, pallets of 152 enemy artillery shells. 45,000 tons of displacement, hiding enough firepower to sustain Russian attacks for 3 weeks. To tracking systems in Kiev, she's not just a ship, she's a blood vessel feeding Putin's war machine. And Ukraine is about to sever it. The decoy strategy. First wave dies. Second wave kills. Ukraine launches 4 drones over the Black Sea. 2 UJ-22s flying high at 300 meters, deliberately lighting up Russian radar like flying billboards. Below them, skimming just meters above the waves, 2 AN-196 Lyuty attack drones, carrying 75-kilogram shaped charge warheads. The decoys balloon their radar signature every 30 seconds, while the real killers slide deeper into sea clutter, that dirty band where radar struggles to distinguish foam from metal. It's audacious. It's brilliant. And Russian air defenses are about to fall for it completely. Russia's billion-dollar mistake. 16 miles from target, Russian electronic warfare kicks in. A Lear 3 system mounted on a Kamaz truck paints a 30-kilometer bubble of interference over the sea. White noise drowns the decoy's telemetry. Video feed dissolves into gray squares. On Crimea's coast, Nebo M long-range radar catches 2 small returns at 300 meters. Range, 20 kilometers. Closure rate, 165 kilometers per hour. The air defense officer has 10 seconds to decide. Ignore and risk losing Sevastopol's fuel artery? Or engage and waste missiles on ghosts? He chooses wrong. Panzer S-1 to ready. Engage. 2 57E6 missiles, each worth tens of thousands of dollars, leap from their tubes. Acceleration past Mach 2 in under 5 seconds. At 14 kilometers, fragments slice through air. Both UJ-22 decoys vanish in smears of flame and metal. Targets destroyed. Corridor secure. For a few seconds, the control room celebrates. They have no idea what's coming. The real threat arrives. What Russian radar doesn't see. The 500-meter gap to the south. Both AN-196 Lyuty drones ride that seam in darkness, 50 meters lower than the dead decoys, their signatures smaller than seabirds. When Nebo M tilts its beam upward to confirm the kill, the attack drones slip underneath, surfing the filthy wash of reflections where theory says radar sees everything. But reality? It doesn't. Radar hates low, slow, sea-skimming targets. The closer to the surface, the more they look like water. The Lyuty drones bank 15 degrees, speed edging toward 195 kilometers per hour. Range to impact, 15 kilometers. Time remaining, under 5 minutes. Terminal approach, 3:49 am. First drone begins terminal run. Altitude, 100 meters. Range, 2 kilometers. Time to impact, 40 seconds. In the underground control cabin, the operator's world shrinks to a shaking grayscale image and 3 numbers. Drone 2 holds further out, a backup blade if the first strike goes wide. He nudges drone 1 4 degrees to starboard, lining up with the tanker's midsection just forward of the superstructure, where piping and cable trunks bunch together. Hold. Hold. Commit. Speed climbs past 200 kilometers per hour as it noses into a 15-degree dive. The last 800 meters disappear in under 16 seconds. Impact looks like a camera flash pointed at the bay. Devastation unleashed. The shape charge detonates against Chiros's flank. A superheated jet punches through multiple layers of steel in microseconds. Inside spaces designed to hold flammable liquids, overpressure spikes above 8 bar. Enough to tear valves, rupture lines, blow doors off hinges. Diesel mist, vapors, residual gas all find ignition points simultaneously. A fireball erupts 40 meters above deck, turning night into day across Sevastopol Bay. Shock waves race across water, slam into the hull, bounce off concrete piers. Cranes twist like soft wire. Forklifts hurled sideways. Antenna masts snap at their bases. Containers packed with Shahed components cook off one after another, each detonating like small artillery strikes. Fragment clouds cut across ship and pier at hundreds of meters per second, shredding everything that isn't armor. For crew and dock workers, there's no coherent picture. Only heat, noise. The sense that the world is tearing itself apart. The second strike. Drone 2 circles once at low altitude, camera capturing the inferno, then follows contingency orders. Dives into the base of a loading crane, finishing its mission in a spray of sparks and twisting steel. Within 60 seconds, secondary fires rage along 30 meters of deck and across the fuel pier. Aviation gasoline drums ignite, sending thin white-hot jets sideways before collapsing into boiling pools of flame. The tanker's list increases degree by degree as harbor water pours into ripped compartments. Systems designed to fight oil fires struggle against the wrong kind of blaze. Not surface spills, but internal explosions and burning metal now licking at nearby storage tanks and warehouses. The aftermath. By 4:15 am, Chiros is barely recognizable. The bow rides above waterline, but the midship section sits low, blackened, twisted, pressed against a ruined pier. Flames continue climbing 30 to 40 meters into the air, visible to every satellite, every smartphone camera pointed at the horizon from Sevastopol's hills. The port complex fueling the Black Sea fleet is now choked with smoke, debris and fireboats trying to keep the blaze from jumping to nearby tank farms. For the next 24 to 48 hours, berths lie idle, movements frozen, sorties delayed, insurers raise eyebrows. Captains of other Shadow Fleet tankers waiting offshore rethink their approach, asking whether any premium is worth an AN-196 finding them tied to a Russian pier. Strategic impact. 2 drones. Total cost, probably under $50,000. Damage inflicted, over $500 million in weapons, plus the tanker itself worth tens of millions. That's a 10,000 to 1 return on investment. But the real damage isn't measured in dollars. Russia just lost 3 weeks of strike capability in 3 minutes. Shahed drones that won't terrorize Ukrainian cities, artillery shells that won't pound Ukrainian positions, guidance systems that won't steer missiles into apartment buildings. All of it, burned, twisted, sunk to the bottom of Sevastopol Bay, the future of warfare. This attack proves something terrifying and revolutionary. Traditional air defenses, built to stop jets, cruise missiles, ballistic threats, are nearly useless against coordinated drone swarms using decoy tactics. Russia spent billions on Pantsir systems, Nebo-M radars, Lear-3 electronic warfare. 2 cheap drones exploiting basic physics made all of it irrelevant. Every military in the world just watched this unfold. And they're asking 2 questions. Could we do this? Are we prepared if someone does this to us? The answer to both is probably uncomfortable. Ukraine just proved that nowhere is truly safe for Putin's war machine. Not Sevastopol, 300 kilometers from Ukrainian-controlled territory. Not the heart of Russia's Black Sea naval power. Not even ships carrying $500 million in weapons. The decoy strategy. The sea-skimming approach. The precision timing. This wasn't luck. This was surgical planning executed flawlessly, and it drove another nail into the coffin of Putin's war. Modern threats require modern solutions, and Ukraine just showed the world what the future of warfare looks like. 2 drones, 1 tanker, a shadow fleet crippled, and a message sent loud and clear: adapt or get burned. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which part impressed you most? The decoy strategy or the precision strike? Subscribe for more frontline analysis. Because warfare just evolved, and we're breaking it down for you. Stay informed, stay ahead,